Hopefully you guys can see me. Try to clear that up a little bit. Going on a little walk here. Figure I'd channel my internal Yashu and you guys a little live stream while I'm walking. So I want to talk about Tesla, Tesla stock, and some of the things that I see going on. See my friend Greg over here, where they're walking his dog. But I want to talk about Tesla, Tesla stock, AI companies, this Apple event that just happened, and why it seems pretty clear to me that Tesla is kind of on an island on their own. I mean, you can just see the reaction today from Apple. Don't get me wrong; it could be a sell the news kind of thing for Apple, but there's still, I think there's still a lot of room for Tesla to run, mainly because of the fact that I don't see any real differentiators right now when it comes to any of these. I'm sorry if this is loud in the wind, but I don't see any differentiators really right now with a lot of these AI companies. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a software engineer at another company, and we were talking about how a lot of these current AI tools, they're kind of like in the toy phase, if you will. And I saw a lot more of that now with Apple. You know, they didn't really talk a lot about AI or machine learning or anything, but they did talk about using some large language models within, I guess, version 17 of their iOS. But it was honestly, that whole event was underwhelming. And so when I look at what they're doing, which is not much, you look at, what OpenAI is doing. Okay, yeah, sure, they got ChatGPT. That's interesting, I guess, and people can build upon that, and you'll see that, right? We already see some stuff, right? Like with like if you're coding and stuff, there's good use, actual practical enterprise use for that. But other than that, you're not really seeing a lot of companies have the knowledge or the leverage when it comes to any of these type of tools or these new technologies. They're exciting. There's a lot of promise, but you're not seeing anyone actually doing anything. The only company is really Tesla. All right. So we're seeing left and right what they're doing with AI. And again, I don't see anything else. I mean, you can say Nvidia, but Nvidia, they're kind of they're just the hardware of it, right? They're not actually, I wouldn't actually call them an AI company. So when I look at this and I look at the entire market and I see who's actually doing real things that are out there, I really just see Tesla. And at the same time, Tesla, compared to these other companies, compared to Apple, compared to Nvidia, compared to Microsoft, Amazon, etc., Tesla is the only company that is still, down for the year. I think they're still down something like 10%. Okay, you guys can see there you go, nice little view there, Florida life. But yeah, so I still see Tesla being extremely undervalued compared to all these other companies, and yet they're the only ones out there actually doing anything. So I find this very interesting, and it seems like they're just, they've ran a lot, right? We've gone from, call it $100 in January up to, what are we at now? 219, 217. I think we closed up a couple percent today. Apple closed a little down. The market was kind of flat today for a lot of the tech companies, to be honest. Even Facebook was down today, which is no surprise there. But it's just you got to be left wondering, where's the innovation coming from? It doesn't seem like innovation's coming from Apple. And don't get me wrong, like, yeah, if someone gave me a pair of these Vision Pro goggles, whatever they called them, would I use them? Yeah, I'll try them out. I'm not gonna pay $4,000 for them. Say that. I don't think they're there yet. It seems way premature, and I think the cost price has to come way, way, way down. But to be honest, I think it's kind of a flop. And I sit here and I say that, and I'm trying really hard not to be that, like, that old person. I get it. I'm getting older. I've been, in this tech world for a little bit now, so maybe my views are changing a little bit, and I don't want to be that person that misses the obvious thing that's coming, right? I don't want to be that person that missed Amazon with cloud, that person that missed the iPhone, So I try really hard not to be that person, but honestly, I think the whole idea of goggles on your face to be underwhelming. I don't see that as being the next thing, personally. I think the next thing will be, and I get it, I'm biased. I think the next thing will be what Tesla's doing with autonomy. I think experiences and things that allow you to be more with people is where tech really flourishes. And having these goggles in front of your face, it could be great for gaming. Maybe it'd be great for work. I don't see it great as I'm just gonna sit on the couch and watch a movie alone. And then on top of that, keeping something in front of your face, I just don't see it. Whereas like an autonomous vehicle, I can see it being a very beneficial thing, right? I see it being something where now we can ride in a car and we can all talk together. We can, interact together. We can save time. We can be efficient with our work, or we can travel somewhere with our animals and pets, not to worry about air. There, autonomous vehicles is just such a different perspective. Man, there's a loud car over there. But yeah, so anyway, so when I look at the market and I see what's going on with everything, and I get it, AI is the new moniker you want to put on everything because it's a big hype thing. I just don't see it. I don't see what other company you'd be invested in right now. Now, I don't think Tesla is going to be at 250, $300 overnight, but I do see it running here, right? I mean, here, when I say running here, what I mean is over the next, for the rest of the year, right? I can see us running into the 300, 315, maybe higher range. I can see, I mean, in the short term, yeah, we're probably going to pull back a little bit. I think the whole market's going to pull back a little bit. We're a little bit due for that. But I think it's just going to be a healthy pullback. It's not going to be another scary pullback like we've been seeing in the past that we've kind of had the rug pulled from us by the Fed. The Fed's in an interesting position, right? Now they're posturing to, now that the Fed's posturing to be in a, or have a, what do they call it? A hawkish pause. That's the terminology I heard today. A hawkish pause. So the Fed doing a hawkish pause, which essentially all that's really saying is that they are going to pause. They're going to try to scare us into thinking there's way more hikes and they're going to do all these things and it's scary out there just so that the market doesn't run. But you know what? The market's not stupid. The market's probably going to run anyways. The market's been running. So I don't I don't see that being that big of an issue. I'm not too scared about that. I honestly think the worst is kind of behind us from a stock market perspective, or well, let's say from Tesla perspective. It seems like things are getting a lot more bullish. I don't know if you guys feel this way, but it seems like the sentiment, something in the air is just a lot different. Things seem to be winding down. We're starting to get a little more certainty. Inflation's coming down drastically. I think you're going to see that more so here. Maybe not so much in June, but July, right? We're kind of lapping those year over year numbers, and July is going to be a big number that won't be part of that year over year anymore. So that's going to be a big deal. And so here's the question, right? Sure, Tesla, the stock market might pull back a little bit for a healthy reason, but when we start seeing these inflation numbers come in lower because we're lapping bigger numbers from last year and now they're smaller, and on top of that, we start to Nicholas, do not call yourself old. I know you. I now feel like a dinosaur. Hey, Mimi. Um, yeah, well, I feel like sometimes in the tech world, um, or I don't know what it is. I think it's a human thing, not even a tech world. It's a human thing. There's something about humans where some humans will get stuck in a certain paradigm with technology or anything, and I just don't ever want to be that person. I always want to have my pulse on technology and what's real, what's legit, what's not, what's hype. Like the whole metaverse thing. You know, I looked at that hard. I thought it was hype. I watched Zuck's whole thing. It's like a 2 hour and a half long thing. I'm happy I did it. It was kind of a waste of my time, but I'm happy I did it because after watching that, I kind of came to the conclusion that I'm not going to be sitting there buying land in the metaverse. I'm just not going to do that. You guys can do that. I'll go buy real estate out here in the real world. Uh, but anyways, I'm getting off topic here. But so yeah, so I think with the Fed potentially cutting or not even cutting, just pausing, and they can give all their hawkishness and all that. I think that this is just going to just entice the market to go up even more. So I see a lot of bullishness out there right now. Q2 for Tesla, this could be a little rocky, all right? I was talking to a friend of mine today, and he just sold a whole bunch of shares from another company, and he was asking me, he's like, okay, what's the secret? When's the right time to get into Tesla? And, as always, I told him, none of this financial advice, and I told him exactly what I'm saying here right now. I told him, look, odds are Tesla's ran a lot, the market's ran a lot. We're probably going to pull back a little bit. That could happen. on the other hand, if the Fed pauses next week, the market could run and you might feel stupid that you didn't buy sooner. Okay, that's a possibility. So on the one hand, it might pull back. On the other hand, it might run because of the pause, and then you feel like an idiot. Okay, well, what else might happen? Well, we also have Q2 for Tesla earnings, and sorry about the light, guys, but we have Q2 for Tesla earnings, which may not be great. Not so much the earnings themselves, but margins, right? Margins are a big thing. So mainly because Tesla dropped their prices right after Q1 earnings. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the sentiment wasn't great there. But at the same time, there's a chance that margins are good. Why? Well, because we haven't seen a lot of the reflection of commodity prices and everything coming down flow through the numbers for Tesla. So there again, it's that, damn if you do, damn if you don't. So I kind of laid it all out for him, and I told him, like, listen, even if they are bad, let's say Q2 margins are bad, and Tesla pretty much says that's it. That's it for our low margins. This is the bottom. They're up from here. Let's say that happens. Okay. The stock might run on that. It might go up on that. And then what? We know that's it. If we know that's the low. And now we go into Q3. And now we're in Q3 and we expect the Cybertruck delivery. What happens then? So my bottom line to him was time in the market beats time in the market. And that's kind of been my whole thesis of this channel this whole time, is that time in the market beats time in the market. There's no way we could predict any of this stuff. I mean, you just can't. I mean, if you can, great on you, but I can't. And so my advice is buy and hold. Although I don't have financial advice here. Anyways, so I think Tesla stock has a lot of room to run by the end of the year. So much so that I think I told you guys maybe a month ago now that I started putting all my capital to work. As you all know, I was saving cash because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was still a little paranoid. But then I tweeted this again, maybe a month ago. I tweeted, something's different. Something's happening. There's something in the air. The mood's different. The environment feels different. Things don't seem so scary anymore. Elon seems to be back. Shareholder meeting, had a lot of excitement potential. I don't know. I feel like right now my mindset is, I'm in emergency mode right now. I'm in emergency mode to save every penny I have so I can buy as many shares as I can. I don't know about you guys, but what I don't want to happen is I don't want to miss the moment when everybody finally starts to get it and everybody finally realizes what Tesla is, who Tesla is. Just look at this whole AI hype train right now. Okay. And again, I iterate, what company out there is actually doing anything that can be sold? That's real. That's not like a toy, a gimmick, if you will. There aren't a lot of companies out there. All I really see is Tesla. That's it. And so once the market realizes, which I don't think they've realized this, I don't think they understand what's happening here. I don't think they understand how close these things are. But you know who is understanding this? I think these OEMs are understanding. Ford's finally partnering up with Tesla on superchargers. Elon tweets out today that they're open to licensing out FSD. So that's here. I'll show you guys something real quick. I'm on a walk here. Check out these turtles. Yeah, taking a little moment here. Sorry, but yeah. So he's licensing out FSD, or willing to license out FSD. That would be major. Think about it. From a GM perspective, this would be a no-brainer, right? Like, all you have to do is invest in the hardware, which even if you're doing your own system, you have to do that anyways. And then your consumers, the buyers of the vehicles, they are the ones that pay for the FSD subscription. It's not on you. So it just seems like a no-brainer. And the closer we get to FSD being solved, it's game, set, match. So it's really just about, in my opinion, this is how I see it. It's me and my wife, this is our own personal finance journey, is that we are trying to accumulate as much Tesla share as possible before the masses become aware of this, before it gets to a point. Look, right now, you could go up. Do you remember when Bitcoin first started going? And all of a sudden, the hype just blew up, and your grandmother was asking about Bitcoin. Your cab driver was talking about Bitcoin. The Uber driver was talking about Bitcoin. The waiter, the waitress, the bartender, everyone was talking about Bitcoin. Same thing with AI, with ChatGPT. Everybody was talking about it, right? It became the big hype train. Everyone, literally, grandmothers, bartenders, everybody was talking about ChatGPT. Well, the way I see it, everybody's not talking yet about Tesla autonomous vehicles. Everybody's not understanding what Tesla's doing. No one really understands what Dojo is as a potential compute service, right? There's so much unknown here with Tesla, and I want to keep it like that for as long as I can because I am accumulating. But I don't think it's gonna last that long, right? I think you guys have seen Herbert and I have Herbert Brighter with Herbert. We've done a couple of his like 15-minute mid noon episodes, and we both agree that there will eventually be a viral Tesla moment, right? And I definitely think that's going to happen. You can call it a ChatGPT moment, you can call it a viral moment, whatever. And once that happens, it's going to blow up, right? It's kind of already blown up where everybody wants a Tesla. Kids all want a Tesla, right? I was just at the grocery store, and I got talking to someone, and we started talking. Somehow it came up Tesla. I never bring it up, but other people bring it up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's all my kid talks about. Yeah, they want a Tesla. They ask me, oh, why don't you get a Tesla? I want a These are and their kids are like 5 and 7 years old, right? These are 5 and 7 year old kids that want a Tesla, right? This is literally one of those things where listen to the kids. The kids know. The kids know what's cool. The kids know what's out there, right? Again, going back to what Mimi was talking about before, I get it. Compared to some people, I'm younger. Compared to some people, I'm older, but there's a real thing here, and I think the people who tend to have their finger on the pulse of what's happening with tech, with society, it's the younger people, the younger generation. And if you look at what they want, from kids to teenagers to people in college, they want Teslas, right? And this idea of autonomy, I hear a lot of people sitting there that say, oh, well, people aren't going to trust it. People aren't going to want to have autonomous vehicles. They'll be too scared. They won't trust it. You know, this is the same argument people had for Uber and Lyft. I remember that. People were saying, "Oh, people aren't just gonna get in some random stranger's car. Like that's never gonna happen. Like at least with the yellow taxi, it's a taxi because it says it's a taxi. How do I know that you're a real person that's actually gonna drive me somewhere?" And we see how well that panned out, right? It- you know, Yellow taxis essentially got disrupted by Uber and Lyft. So again, I don't think I've ever been this bullish for Tesla right now. I see very little in their way. Elon's back full time, hardcore. FSD seems to be improving quickly. Prices are coming down, which I think is good. Project Highland seems to be set to come out maybe Q3. Cybertrucks can get launched. The margins for Q2 will either be the bottom or they won't be that bad. And then we have, going to Q3 and Q4, which as we know are the historically stronger quarters. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's much to be upset about when it comes to Tesla right now. And I really see the stock, I don't think it'll finish at all time highs by the end of the year. And I don't think I would want to. I feel like that'd be too fast. But again, I'm not going to complain if it does. But I could see Tesla finishing the year 320, and then next year, especially as we get these iterations with FSD. But you never know. Cybertruck might do it. Cybertruck might come out. Robotaxi announcement, right? Giga Mexico opening. Learning more about the unboxing method. You never know what could happen. Like if you remember, I was on. I think a lot of you were on the live stream with Yashu when Tesla broke the 1 trillion mark, $1,000 share. Like I remember, I was downstairs, and it was the same day we broke 900, I think, because I kept going upstairs to my wife, like, "Oh, look at this! Oh, look at this!" And I just had Yashu's live stream on, and what was it that set that over the top? It was really nothing. It was Hertz talked about buying, what did they say, 100 Teslas for their fleet. That was it. Like it was just that. But and that wasn't what actually happened. That was just like the straw that broke the camel's back to send it over. So there's so many things that have happened since we've gone down, right? Berlin's open, Austin's open. I mean, AI days, just profitability, just so much has happened. I can't even list it all. That you never know. Cybertruck could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and boom, there we are. All of a sudden, we're just soaring once again. Could be the economy. It could be CPI. You never know. And so again, I think time in the market. Oops, sorry about that. So again, I think time in the market beats timing the market. I think we all, for the most part, we all agree on that. And so I'm worried. Like I said, I'm in emergency mode. My wife's not in emergency mode, where I think that that's it. This is probably gonna be the last year where we're gonna be able to swallow up as many shares as we can at these low prices, at these discounted prices, because I think the populace is going to wake up, or there's going to be a FSD Tesla moment where everyone all of a sudden gets it and they're like, oh my God, this is the AI company to invest in. So just wanted to jump on, give those thoughts. I'm extremely excited. Let's see. Hey, Nicholas, when do you think we'll see groundbreaking at Giga Mexico? Hopefully soon. Hopefully, in the next month or two. Let's see. TSLA is stair stepping its way up to 225. The macro market slowed things down today. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see. Maybe I know you're kidding. It's all good. Uh, let's see. Okay, exactly. Not having Steve. Yeah, yeah. Tim Cook's no Steve Jobs, but hey, you gotta give Tim Cook credit, right? Again, I'm not a big fan of all the products. I say that as I'm on an iPhone with AirPods in, and I edit stuff on my MacBook. But I definitely think Steve Jobs was in a category of his own. But you gotta give Tim Cook respect. Shareholders, Tesla shareholders would love to have Tesla have the same type of reaction that Apple has had since Tim Cook took over. So, a lot of respect to Tim Cook, a lot of respect to Apple, but at the same time, there's nothing quite like Tesla. There's nothing quite like Elon Musk. Luckily for us, we still have our Steve Jobs. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. I got to go walk back. Gotta get some dinner with the wife. But appreciate you guys jumping onto this live stream. Thanks for hitting the like button, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.